Saying just start doing it sounds so easy, but doesn't feel easy. Because it's not necessarily easy, but you gotta do it. Like, okay, here's the example I always give for this. We're gonna do it again. Because people hate when I say this, and they talk like it's some big and validating thing when I say just do it. I want to pick up this Kleenex box and take a Kleenex out of it. I really want to do it, but I hate doing it. I hate picking up Kleenex boxes and taking the tissue out. It'll be worth my while to do it. I really want to do it. I can't figure out why I don't do it. I don't know what the reason is for why I don't pick up the Kleenex box. I would love to talk to a therapist about all the reasons why I don't pick up the Kleenex box. I'm going to evaluate it from all sides. I freaking hate this thing. God, I just want to pick it up and take a tissue out. Why won't I do it? I just don't want to do it. You know, I like the idea. I like the design. I like picking a Kleenex box out at the store. But when it comes time for me to actually pick up the tissue box and take a tissue out, I'm just so bad at it. I feel so incompetent. And I just don't know exactly what I'm doing. Even though I possess all of the mechanical skill to be able to pick it up and take the tissue out. I just, I don't know. Maybe it's because when I was growing up, my dad used to have a hard time picking up the tissue box and taking it out. I don't know. Maybe it was my mom. I mean, gosh, when I think about tissue boxes, all I hear is my mom's voice telling me I'm a piece of shit, and it makes me wonder if that's actually true. And maybe I need to work through that, because maybe if I'm not a piece of shit, then it means I could pick up the Kleenex box and I could take the tissue out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not even good enough to deal with that. I'm wasting mine and everybody else's fucking time with this. And because the reality is, until it doesn't happen. So I possess the ability to do it. If I literally do not have the physical ability to pick up the tissue box, then there are different skills I may have to develop. Or maybe I have to focus on the first step, which is to pick my arms up off of my lap and then move my arms forward and then clasp them around the tissue box and then pick it up. But ultimately, I could have sat here for 3 hours and talked to you about all the reasons why I'm so fucking intimidated by this Kleenex box, and until I pick it up, it's not gonna happen. It is one of the great realities of life. It is one of the things that blows my mind how often people get mad when you say just do it, when it's something that you ostensibly could just do. So the reality is, if we're talking about when people get wrapped up in it, they often get wrapped up in their expectations. So if I was to say, well, it's only good enough for me to pick up this tissue box and take the tissue out if the tissue comes out in a perfect square. No, see, I fucked it up. See, I'm worthless. I pulled the tissue out and it wasn't perfectly square, but I haven't made any effort to build the skill to do that. So I just sit here and feel sorry for myself about it instead of actually putting in the work to get better at pulling the tissue out of the box. We're talking about an unrealistic expectation. So that's a you problem. If you've crafted an expectation that's not realistic or not fair to yourself, and then you're just jacking your anxiety because your experience is constantly not going to align with your expectation. So at the end of the day, it comes down to just fucking do it. Especially if it is something that has been labeled and named and described and learned. In fact, you could make an argument that for so long as I sit here and fuck around with this Kleenex box instead of picking it up and taking the tissue out like it's been prescribed to me to do, I'm becoming actively resistant to my own health and to my own goals. And I'm choosing to do that. And that's where personal accountability takes such a center stage on behavioral activation. So if your issue is behavioral activation, if you're sitting here and you're saying, oh God, I need to clean my room, but I just don't. You could ostensibly pause this stream, turn it off, close Twitch, and go pick up all the shit in your room. You could do that. Maybe somebody in chat will. Good for you. Maybe one of you will go, no, but Dr. Mick's too riveting right now. I don't want to miss this. There's a VOD. No, but I want to watch it live. You're just creating excuses for a lack of behavioral activation. You're contributing to your own demise on that. And at some point, that's a you problem, not a circumstantial problem. Everybody's got different hurdles they have to jump over. It's important for you to understand what those are. Therapists can help you develop skills for how you jump over those. But at the end of the day, The things that you want to have happen in your life that you have control over will not happen until you do them. There you go. A lot of passion in that, but it's something that just, I have had the way that I have framed this before to clients is we have two options. I can tell you exactly, like, we know what the behavior, especially if a person names their own goal. If they're like, I know what I want to do. You go, okay, we have two options. We can sit here and we can spend the next 10 months going into the deepest of psychology, all the family of origin bullshit, all the intrapsychic stuff. We can do all of that. We can spend 10 months doing it. Or you just pick up the goddamn tissue box. Because they go to the same space. They go to the exact same spot. So do you want to pick up the tissue box now? Or do you want to pick up the tissue box 10 months from now with more psychological insight? Which one do you want? But at some point, if you choose, I want the psychological point, then you don't get to feel sorry for yourself for the fact that you're spending less time, you're not picking up the tissue box. At some point, you have to recognize that you are actively choosing not to pick up the tissue box in lieu of additional insight. And that's fine if that's what you want, if that's your goal. But you can't have your cake and eat it too.